Welcome to BIM and AI in Practice. We're thrilled to have you join us for the third installment in our Autodesk Revit Architecture series. In today's session, we'll guide you through the essential user interface for modeling a project in Revit. Keep in mind that there are some key differences when working with the user interface for families, so be sure to focus on those details as we go through the tutorial. This session is designed primarily for beginner and intermediate users, but even advanced users will discover valuable tips and insights to enhance their workflow. Don't forget to check in each week for fresh content to help you unlock the full potential of Autodesk Revit, one of the most powerful building information modeling (BIM) tools for 3D building and infrastructure design. Let's dive in. In the top left corner, you'll find the File tab. Click on it to open the drop-down menu. The File tab provides quick access to essential file actions like New, Open, and Save, as well as more advanced tools such as Export and Publish. To explore the options under each menu item, simply hover over the arrow for a moment, then click on the desired option from the list. To view a list of recently opened files, select Recent Documents. You can adjust the sort order of these documents using the drop-down list. If you want to keep certain documents on the list, no matter how long it's been since you last opened them, use the push pins to pin them in place. Click Open Documents to see all the open views within the files you're currently working on. From here, select a view and it will appear in the drawing area for you to work with. The ribbon appears whenever you create or open a file in Revit. It's your main workspace, providing all the essential tools you need to design your project or family. The ribbon is divided into several tabs, such as Architecture, Structure, Insert, Annotate, View, and more. Each tab houses a set of tools relevant to that category. The panels within each tab are organized from left to right, with the most commonly used tools placed in the leftmost section for quick access. This layout ensures you can efficiently navigate through your tasks, helping you stay focused and productive while modeling your project. When you hover your cursor over a tool on the ribbon, Revit will display a tooltip by default. This tooltip provides a brief description of the tool's function. If you hold your cursor over the tool a bit longer, additional information may appear, if available, to offer a deeper understanding of its use. For even more detailed information, press F1 while the tooltip is visible. This will open context-sensitive help, providing a more comprehensive guide about the tool, its features, and how to use it effectively in your project. While working in the drawing area, Revit will display a tooltip near your cursor. When you move the cursor over an element, the tooltip will identify that element by displaying its category, family, and type. This same information will also appear in the status bar for quick reference. If you prefer to adjust or disable the tooltips, go to the File tab, then select Options. In the User Interface tab, you'll find an option for Tooltip Assistance. Here, you can choose from several settings to customize how tooltips behave or even turn them off entirely based on your preferences. Now, let's take a closer look at some of the tools available in different tabs of the ribbon. In the Architecture tab, you'll find a variety of tools for building and modeling your design, including Wall Architectural, Wall Structural, Wall by Face, Door, Window, Column, Roof by Footprint, Roof by Extrusion, by Face, Circulation elements. Openings, and many others, each tailored to specific architectural tasks. Over in the Structure tab, you'll find tools focused on creating and managing structural elements, such as beams, columns, foundations, and other key components of a building's framework. When you activate certain tools or select specific elements, a contextual ribbon tab will appear. This tab provides tools and options that are directly related to the context of the selected tool or element. Once you exit the tool or clear your selection, the contextual tab will automatically close, keeping your workspace clean and focused. You can easily customize the layout of your ribbon by clicking and dragging any panel to reposition it within the tab. Alternatively, you can pull the panel away from the ribbon to float it independently within the interface. A floating panel will remain visible even when its tab is not currently active, allowing you to keep frequently used tools accessible at all times. To return the panel to its original tab, simply hover over the panel's name and click the Return Panels to Ribbon control. This feature allows you to organize your workspace for maximum efficiency. If you see an arrow next to a panel title, it means you can expand the panel to reveal additional tools and controls. By default, the expanded panel will automatically close when you click outside of it. However, if you want to keep the panel open while its ribbon tab is active, simply click the push pin icon in the bottom left corner of the expanded panel. This will pin it open, giving you easy access to its tools. Some panels also feature a dialog launcher arrow at the bottom. Clicking this arrow opens a dialog box, allowing you to define and adjust related settings for that specific tool or feature. This provides more detailed control over your design elements. Sometimes, you might prefer to hide certain tabs on the ribbon, especially when the tools they contain are discipline-specific. This can be helpful when customizing your workspace to suit your specific needs. For example, if you're working on a project that doesn't require MEP or structural tools, you can adjust the ribbon to display only the relevant options. To do this, first click the Application menu and then select Options. In the Options dialog, navigate to the User Interface section. Here, you can uncheck the boxes next to the tabs you no longer wish to display, such as the structural or MEP tabs. Once you've made your adjustments, click OK to confirm. The tabs you deselected will no longer appear on the ribbon. Additionally, if you want to rearrange the tabs on your ribbon, simply hold down the Control key and drag the tab label to a new position. This allows you to organize the ribbon to better suit your workflow, enhancing your overall productivity. If you need to free up space in the drawing area, consider minimizing the ribbon interface. The ribbon includes a control at the end of the tabs that lets you cycle through different ribbon states. Simply click the right arrow to access a menu where you can choose from several options: minimize to tabs, minimize to panel titles, minimize to panel buttons, or cycle through all. Depending on the selected ribbon state, you may need to either hover over or click to access the tools. Keep clicking the control to cycle through the different ribbon states until you find the one that best suits your workflow. Additionally, Revit has a responsive feature that automatically adjusts the size of ribbon tools based on your monitor's screen size. This ensures that all the buttons are visible and accessible, even on smaller displays, improving your overall workflow efficiency. By utilizing these ribbon customization techniques, you can tailor the Revit interface to better match your specific workflow, maximizing productivity and enhancing your design experience. On our YouTube channel, BIM and AI in Practice, you can find video tips for every button on the ribbon. The Quick Access toolbar can be positioned either above or below the ribbon, providing a convenient location for the tools you use most frequently. Navigate through the ribbon to find the tool you want to add. Once you've located it, right-click the tool and select Add to Quick Access Toolbar to make it easily accessible. To quickly remove a tool from the Quick Access toolbar, simply right-click the tool and select Remove from Quick Access Toolbar. If you've removed any default tools, you can easily add them back by clicking the Customize Quick Access Toolbar dropdown and selecting the tool you wish to restore. For more extensive changes, click Customize Quick Access Toolbar from the dropdown on the Quick Access toolbar. To reposition the Quick Access toolbar above the ribbon, open the dropdown again and select Show Below the Ribbon to toggle its position. Alternatively, instead of navigating through the Quick Access toolbar, you can utilize Revit's keyboard shortcuts. But what exactly are keyboard shortcuts? In simple terms, keyboard shortcuts are specific keystrokes that allow you to quickly execute a Revit command without having to navigate through the interface. By using these shortcuts, you can significantly boost your productivity. Why is this important? Well, some commands in Revit may be buried deep within distant tabs or nested in a series of dropdowns and flyouts. Accessing these commands can be time-consuming and disrupt your workflow. Keyboard shortcuts eliminate this hassle, helping you stay focused on the task at hand and work more efficiently. Many commands in Revit come with default keyboard shortcuts already assigned. However, if a command doesn't have a shortcut, you can easily assign one yourself to streamline your workflow even further. You'll find keyboard shortcuts displayed right in the tooltips of commands within the user interface. For example, the shortcut for the wall command is A. If you don't see a shortcut listed in the tooltip, it means that command doesn't have one by default. If you want a complete overview, Autodesk offers a full list of default keyboard shortcuts, which you can download as a PDF directly from their website. Revit allows you to fully customize your keyboard shortcuts to suit your preferences. Whether you want to assign a shortcut to a tool that doesn't have one by default, or change the existing shortcut for a command, it's all possible. Interestingly, the Keyboard Shortcuts feature even has its own shortcut. You can quickly open the Keyboard Shortcuts dialog by pressing KS on your keyboard. Alternatively, to customize your shortcuts manually, you can access the dialog from the Revit Options menu. Or just click the View tab. Go to the Windows panel, select the User Interface dropdown, and choose Keyboard Shortcuts. Once you're in the Keyboard Shortcuts dialog, use the search field to type in the name of the command you're looking for. As you type, the assignments list will update to show any commands that match part of the word. For example, typing wall will bring up results like wall opening and wall joins, among others. Alternatively, you can filter the list of commands by selecting the specific area of the user interface where the command is located. You can also choose from options such as All Defined, which shows commands that already have keyboard shortcuts assigned, All Not Defined, which displays commands without any keyboard shortcuts, and All Reserved, which lists shortcuts reserved for specific commands. These reserved shortcuts appear in gray in the list and cannot be reassigned to other commands. The Paths column in the Assignments list shows where each command is located in the ribbon or user interface. If you'd like to sort the list by path or any other column, simply click the column heading. Now let's add a shortcut. First, select the command you want from the Assignments list. Once selected, the cursor will move to the Press New Keys field. Next, use the search field to type the name of the command to quickly locate it. Then, press the key sequence you want to assign. As you press the keys, the sequence will appear in the field. Once you're satisfied with your selection, click Assign. The new key sequence will then display in the Shortcuts column for the selected command. To remove a shortcut, simply select the desired command. In the Shortcuts column, click on the shortcut you want to remove, then click Remove. Finally, here are a few tips when adding a keyboard shortcut to a tool. A keyboard shortcut can consist of up to 5 unique alphanumeric keys. You can also create a shortcut using Ctrl, Shift, and Alt along with a single alphanumeric key. For example, pressing Ctrl, Shift, and D will display as Ctrl, Shift, D. Keep in mind that if a shortcut includes Alt, it must also include Ctrl and/or Shift. The Options bar is located just below the ribbon. It displays context-specific tools that change based on the current tool you're using or the selected element. In Autodesk Revit, every object is governed by a set of parameters that define its behavior and characteristics. These parameters can include key properties such as length, material, cost, and more. To modify an object, simply adjust the parameters that describe it. There are 2 primary ways to modify these parameters. Instance parameters. These can be changed directly from the Properties palette for individual elements. Type parameters. These can be edited in the Type Properties dialog, which affects all instances of that particular type within the project. The Properties palette is a modelless dialog that gives you a dynamic view of the parameters defining the elements in your project. By default, when you first launch Revit, this palette is docked on the left side of the screen, right above the project browser. If you've closed the palette and need to bring it back, you have a few options. Navigate to the View tab, Windows panel, User Interface dropdown, select Properties. Alternatively, right-click within the drawing area and choose Properties from the context menu. You also have flexibility in how the palette is displayed. You can dock it to either side of the Revit window and resize it horizontally to suit your workflow. Additionally, the palette's position and visibility are remembered across sessions, so when you reopen Revit, it will appear exactly as you last configured it. Typically, you'll keep the Properties palette open during a Revit session to easily do the following. Type parameters. Define the shared properties across all instances of a specific type. For example, modifying the height parameter adjusts the height of all instances within a particular window type. To select the type of an element to place in the drawing area, or to change the type of elements already placed, use the Type selector. The Type selector shows the currently selected family type and offers a drop-down menu from which you can choose a different type. When you click the Type selector, a search field appears, allowing you to type in keywords to quickly find the content type you need. If elements of the same type are selected, clicking the Edit Type button opens a dialog where you can view and modify the type properties of the selected element. When no placement tool is active and no elements are selected, the Properties palette will display the instance properties for the active view. Just below the Type selector, you'll find a filter that identifies the category of elements the tool will place, or the category and number of elements selected in the drawing area. If multiple categories or types are selected, only the instance properties that are common to all will display in the Properties palette. When multiple categories are selected, you can use the Filters drop-down to view properties specific to a single category or focus on the properties of the active view. Instance parameters define properties that can vary from one instance to another. For example, you can adjust the sill height parameter for a single window instance, allowing you to make unique changes to that specific element. Some parameters can be modified directly in the Properties palette or the Type Properties dialog. But you can also adjust them by manipulating the object directly in the drawing area. Parameters offer flexibility when defining, placing, and manipulating building elements. To meet your project's specific requirements, you can even add custom parameters to objects. We'll cover how to do that in future episodes. If you've found our BIM and AI in Practice channel helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more insightful content. Now, let's dive right back in and continue with today's tutorial. The View Control Bar is located at the bottom of the view window, just above the status bar. It provides quick access to essential functions that impact the current view and includes the following tools. View Scale. The view scale is the proportional system used to represent objects in a drawing. To assign a view scale, you can use one of the following methods. Select a scale directly from the View Control Bar. Alternatively, in the project browser, in the Properties palette, choose a value for view scale. You can also create a custom view scale by clicking the current view scale, selecting Custom, and in the Custom Scale dialog, entering a value for the ratio. You can set the detail level for newly created views based on the view scale. The view scales are organized under 3 detail level categories: coarse, medium, and fine. You can also override the detail level at any time by adjusting the detail level parameter in the view properties. In Autodesk Revit, you can customize the graphic presentation of your project views by selecting from a variety of visual styles. These styles fall under categories such as model display, shadows, lighting, realism, and background settings. By adjusting these visual styles, you can control how your model appears in the current view, providing flexibility to suit different stages of design and presentation. Here's a breakdown of the primary visual styles available. Wireframe. This style renders your model with all edges and lines visible, but without displaying any surfaces. It's a useful option for reviewing the basic geometry of the model. Keep in mind, this setting only affects the active view. Hidden line. In this mode, all edges and lines are displayed, except for those that are hidden behind surfaces. This is often used for clean technical representations of your model where you want to emphasize the shape without clutter. Shaded. This style fills the model with shading to help distinguish surfaces. It also has options to display indirect lighting and shadows, providing a more visually rich representation. To enhance your model's presentation, you can dive into the Graphic Display Options dialog to fine-tune the visual impact of your view. Here are some key settings to consider. Aliasing. Enable this option to smooth out the edges of your lines, improving the overall visual quality of the model. It helps reduce jagged lines and creates a cleaner, more polished view. Transparency. Use the transparency slider to control how transparent elements appear in the view. Adjusting this setting can be especially useful for visualizing elements within a complex model. Shadows. Revit gives you the ability to toggle shadows on and off, including both cast shadows and ambient shadows. These can dramatically improve the realism of your model, particularly in a shaded or realistic view. Background. Tailor the background settings for different types of views such as elevation, section, isometric, and perspective. This allows for an improved contextual presentation, making your views more immersive. Save as view template. Once you've fine-tuned the graphic display options to your liking, you can save your settings as a view template for future use, ensuring consistency across multiple views or projects. By mastering these visual styles and settings, you can elevate the way your project looks in Revit, making it not only a powerful design tool, but also an effective means of communication for your team and stakeholders. Display sun and shadows. You can control the visibility of the sun path and shadows on a view-by-view basis. For the most accurate results when studying the effects of light and shadows on a building and its site, it's best to enable both the sun path and shadow display in a 3D view. To adjust the intensity of the sun, indirect light, or shadows, follow these steps. Click Visual Style, Graphic Display Options. In the Graphic Display Options dialog, under Lighting, move the sun slider or enter a value between 0 and 100 to adjust the brightness of the direct light. Then, under Shadows, move the shadow slider or enter a value between 0 and 100 to adjust the darkness of the shadows. Click OK to apply your changes. Use crop regions to control which elements are visible in a view. Any model elements or parts of a model element outside of the crop region will not be displayed. On the View control bar, there are two controls related to the crop region of the view. The first controls whether the view is cropped, and the second controls the visibility of the crop region itself. You can also adjust crop region settings from the Properties palette. To modify the size of the view when printed, click Size Crop on the contextual panel of the ribbon. This opens a dialog where you can adjust the size, which changes the extents of the crop region. Once you've made all necessary adjustments, you can use the control on the View control bar to turn off the crop region visibility, giving you a cleaner view. Feel free to leave your comments below the video, and our team of specialists in BIM and AI in practice will gladly engage with your questions and provide insightful responses. Temporarily hiding or isolating elements can be useful when you need to focus on or edit only a few elements of a specific category within a view. The Hide tool hides the selected elements in the view, while the Isolate tool shows only the selected elements and hides all others in the view. These tools affect only the active view in the drawing area. To use these tools, select one or more elements in the drawing area, then choose one of the following options. Isolate category. For example, if you select some walls and doors, only those walls and doors will remain visible in the view. Hide category hides all selected categories in the view. For instance, If you select walls and doors, all walls and doors will be hidden. Isolate element isolates only the selected elements. Hide element hides only the selected elements. To exit temporary hide isolate mode and make your changes permanent, click Apply Hide Isolate to view. You can also temporarily view hidden elements or unhide them. To do so, click Reveal Hidden Elements. The Reveal Hidden Elements icon and a colored border will appear in the drawing area, indicating you're in Reveal mode. Hidden elements will display in color, while visible elements will appear in halftone. To unhide elements, select the element, right-click, and choose Unhide in View. Then, select either Elements or Category to unhide. Enable Temporary View Properties to make changes to a view that has a view template applied without affecting the template itself. When working in a complex model, it can be challenging to identify which elements are constrained and understand how these constraints control element behavior. The Reveal Constraints View mode makes it easy to see all dimension and alignment constraints in the view at a glance. Finally, let's take a moment to understand the project browser. The project browser displays a logical hierarchy of all views, schedules, sheets, groups, and other elements within your current project. As you expand or collapse each branch, lower-level items will be revealed, giving you an organized overview of your project structure. To open the project browser, click the View tab. Then go to the Windows panel. From the User Interface drop-down, select Project Browser, or simply right-click anywhere in the application window and choose Browsers, then Project Browser. In large, complex projects, the project browser can contain hundreds of entries. To quickly find a specific item, use the following method. Type the item name in the search box at the top of the project browser dialog. The keywords will be highlighted in the filtered list across all levels of the hierarchy in the browser, with relevant results updating instantly as you type your query. To expand or collapse all top-level nodes, right-click a node or empty space in the browser and select Expand All or Collapse All. The project browser can also be searched using elements in your model. Select an element in the model, right-click, and choose Find in Project Browser. The selected element will be highlighted in the browser. If nothing is selected, the Find in Project Browser tool will focus on the active view. If you want to open a view, simply double-click the view name. A fast double-click opens the view, while a slow double-click allows you to rename the view. To open the sheet where a view is placed, right-click the view name and click Open Sheet. To add a view to a sheet, drag the view name onto the sheet name or directly onto the sheet in the drawing area. To create a new sheet, right-click the Sheets branch and select New Sheet. To copy a view, right-click the view name, Choose Duplicate View, and then select either Duplicate or Duplicate with Detailing. If you choose Duplicate with Detailing, view-specific elements like detail components and dimensions will also be copied into the view. This episode covers how to effectively navigate and use the user interface in Autodesk Revit. Thanks for watching the third video in our series. See you in the next video.